Yes, cats or dogs.
Dogs.
Uh, Ugali or chapati.
Ugali.
Chicken or parrot.
Chicken.
Take two, Stella's Bakery.
I'm Stella. I'm hardworking and I'm resilient. Well, my inspiration came from way back. My mom used to run a business that had to do with baking. And so I'd say that was a source of inspiration and interest when it comes to baking. Well, for me, it's just understanding baking not just as a hobby, but running it as a business. That's in terms of costing, being able to manage the daily operations of the business, and also learning the skill, at a professional level, not just as a hobby, going through different classes and trainings. Yeah. Given that I'm a small-scale baker operating from my home, I'd say every cake that I bake has a personal touch, and we make the cake as per the request of the client. So it's custom made for every client depending on their needs. And for me, giving my time and the personal touch to every cake gives it, the uniqueness. You should have the interest to bake first, because baking is an art, and it's something that you keep learning as you go. But if you do not have the interest, that means that you'll not be able to push through. There are new trends that keep coming up. There's new recipes that you need to keep trying, and you should have that sense of inquisitiveness when it comes to learning how to bake, because the trends change every day. So if you do not have the interest, you'll not even be able to manage it as a baker, as a business. Definitely yes. First, one of the things that I've done differently, if I knew what I know today as a baker, I'd have been more keen to learn the business aspect of baking, understanding baking as just any other business. Because for me, I feel like the mistake that comes with baking, when it's something that you love and as a hobby, translating that to the business, being able to transition from the hobby part to the business and understanding the business itself is really hard. So I would have done that. I would have been more intentional when it comes to learning the entrepreneurial and business aspect of the business of baking. Yeah. Being a home-based baker, my main marketing avenues are usually through referrals, and I wouldn't emphasize more on referrals, because cakes and anything that is edible, it needs a lot of, people need to trust what they're eating. So if you do a good job, for me, I've felt like my biggest client base has always come from my previous clients and referrals. So currently I market my products through the referrals and usually the online marketing. First of all, let me start with the fact that I'm not a tech savvy, so it's been hard for me to actually get into into social media and market my product. It's really been a battle, and it's still a battle for me, because as a person, I'm very conservative. But then here comes technology, where you're supposed to be out there, posting your photos, and where is the line? So I'd say I've really struggled with being able to penetrate the online market. But then, given that it's happening in our face, and technology is something that is actually helpful when you look at it from the point of marketing your business, then I'd say Facebook and Instagram have been a very vital point when it comes to marketing my products. Well, I'd say, in as much as I'd like to say that I'm creative and I'm this person who comes up with all the designs that I do when it comes to decorating cakes, that would be a lie, because cake trends are just in front of our face on social media. And so for me, I'd say my inspiration has always come from checking out pages that I like on social media platforms, Googling that and finding out what is trendy and whether I can try it out. So my inspiration has generally come from many sources: bakers, international and Kenyan bakers, who I admire their work. For example, one of the lady I learned from is called Cake Girl, and I like her page and her work. So I'll look out for designs and something that is challenging from her page and of course other pages of people that I love, and actually try it out, because I don't think we are all about reinventing the wheel. Sometimes we just follow the trends. For me, I feel like when I achieve a cake, the process of making the cake sometimes can be very tedious. And that's why I say it back that you need the interest. Because if you don't have the interest, trust me, you're going to give up. Some cakes are really technical and it takes my time. I have to stand, I have to, it takes a lot of work for you to work on a cake and deliver it. So for me, I feel like the moment my client enjoys the cake and they give me good feedback, that gives me the energy to actually keep going. Entrepreneurship is not easy. I feel like that for me has kept me going. As a person, I'm very resilient. So I'm able to go through the hard times when it comes to the business. I'm also a very sociable person and easily gets to socialize with people. So when it comes to business, I think I can convince my clients to buy the cake, because it boils down to actually selling your product to somebody. And before somebody buys your product, they actually like the person. So you must sell your personality first. And I know that I'm good when it comes to socializing. Well, I think there have been highlights, different highlights. Running a business is a curve. So you have special moments when you're happy about where you've been, not one particular moment. So I can highlight probably 2-3 events where I've been happy with myself, and the business. One was when I got into some competition where entrepreneurs were sharing their ideas and business plans and what the vision they have for the business, and I got to win in the hospitality category. That for me was a highlight, because I didn't think that somebody would actually believe in my idea, because that was a starting point. I hadn't even done much when it comes to the business. Some other highlights I've been sharing my story, like in the Daily Nation, where they captured businesses that were able to survive through the pandemic, and how the internet was helpful to people who did not have physical spaces. And as you know, COVID affected many other businesses. So being able to weather through the pandemic and the business running and using social media as a platform, and that being highlighted in the Daily Nation for me was a highlight. I would also say the fact that last year, 2021, I was able to train 22 students in the year, and that was the beginning of me teaching. For me, it was a highlight, because that was a good number, and those people believed in me, and me being able to mentor them and actually see others start businesses for themselves and so provide for their families. For me, that was a win. Okay. For me, first of all, I'm a person who is into fitness. So if I'm stressed, going for a run, going for a walk, working out, in as much as I've not been able to resume the gym since COVID, for me that's a way to let my stress levels go down. I also find time to read, because I feel like the moment I feel like I'm depleted in terms of ideas, that is a refill. I refill my ideas and renew my ideas, and so rejuvenate my energy. I'm also spiritual, so I believe when I pray about my business and the things that challenge me, I feel renewed. First, I'd say it's my family, my 2 brothers. I think for me, when I've hit like a rock bottom, or I'm trying to get motivation, and I get to share with them my ideas, even just the listening part, for me that works. and it's gone a long way, especially on days when the business is not doing really well. I also have friends that are in the baking space who, when I face a challenge, I'm able to share with them, and that being with people who resonate with my challenge and in the same industry has been helpful, because you get to understand that probably you're not the only one who is going through the challenge, and it's probably a season that is affecting most people in the same industry. I love reading as a person, so I generally enjoy any genre when it comes to reading, but I'll talk about the recent books that I've read. First of all, I read Atomic Habits, and for me, Atomic Habits was very instrumental when I was getting into doing full-time entrepreneurship, which I've done for the past 1.5 years now, because it just insists or emphasizes on the importance of small habits that are done consistently, and how that generates or creates the character that people always admire. We are so big on trying to talk about Steve Jobs and the big entrepreneurs, but really it starts with the little habits. Like, if I wake up at 5 a.m., can I constantly wake up at 5 a.m.? If I'm supposed to be reading on content that is related to cakes and trying new designs every day, do I do that, even if it's just for 30 minutes? Because over time, that gives me the skill and the head start when it comes to cake designs. So for me, that was very instrumental, especially when I was getting into full-time entrepreneurship and having a lot of doubt and trying to create structures in my business. And a book that is closely related to that is the 5 a.m. Club. It also helped me just understand how structures really are instrumental when it comes to creating a lifestyle and behaviors that you can keep up in the long run. So for me, I think those two are very instrumental when it came to trying to run my business and in a better structure. Well, I wish I had the formula, but then I don't think there's any given way or a guidebook when it comes to succeeding. But there's one thing for sure: you need consistency, you need to work hard. But then for me, what I've seen and people don't talk about is that life has an element of luck. I'm not discounting the hard work. That is very important. I'm not discounting the consistency when it comes to your work and whatever area of specialty. Even when you're employed, you need to be hardworking, you need to be consistent. You need to be somebody who is an initiator, somebody who goes for what they want, a go-getter. But then sometimes it happens that success will happen because you were prepared and the opportunity came. But for some people, honestly, there's an element of success. An element of luck that comes with succeeding. So I feel like for me, it's just keep doing what you do, and you never know where that leads you.